It's for Luka to put on the performance of the night. Wait till you see these highlights. Luka here, Bulls up by 7. Luka hits the 3, and he is off and running. Luka Doncic would have an all-time evening. Look at this one here. Little floater from the foul line. Good.
Just extraordinary defense on Chicago's part.
Hey, Joe, come on. Defense was optional in this one, I will tell you that. Third quarter, watch this. LeBron takes it to the hole. Dunk. Lakers take a 7-point lead. Watch this one, though. Watch Luka, and look what he does here. He hits the 3, and he points to someone in the front row and just says, hey, that's for you, before it even goes in. Little pinky deal there with Reeves. I don't know what that is. I like it. Then Luka again. Bombs away. Good. Luka Doncic having an all-time performance from 3. Look at this one here. LeBron down the lane.
Ooh, a little spring in that step.
Lakers came into this game winning 3 straight, and they looked good on offense last night. Fourth quarter we go. 5 minutes left. Luka with the steal. Kind of jogs down court in transition. Push off a little bit. Bucket. Another for Luka. Lakers would go up by 18, and then crossover from deep. He was feeling it, guys. Another triple. Luka would score 51 points in this one. Nearly had a triple-double. And then you look at the Western Conference. The Lakers are in the 3 seed right now, with the Rockets, Nuggets, and T-Wolves all within a game slotted from the 3 to 7 spot. Just 2 games separate the Lakers from the 3 seed to the Suns, who are the 7 seed. And if you have to be the 7 seed, you're in that play-in tournament. Very interesting in the Western Conference. And with that, we bring in our NBA experts, Windy and Monica. Windy, why do the Lakers, and every team for that matter in the West, need that 3 seed so badly?
Yeah, if you're looking at a way for the Lakers to have a playoff run, it's going to be to get that 3. Number one, you'd have home court in the first round, which would, look, they had home court in the first round last year and lost. You got to still play good basketball. But home court in the first round of what's probably going to be a brutal series. And you get on the same side of the bracket probably as the Spurs. I have no idea that's going to go that way. And if you're choosing to be on the side of the Spurs or the Thunder, you're probably going to pick the Spurs because of their inexperience. And overall, they're a little bit not as deep as the Thunder. So that's where they want to go. The next 3 games, Peter, huge for the Lakers. Home against the Nuggets, who had a huge win last night. And then they leave on a 6-game road trip. The first 2 games of that trip in Houston. Teams all around them wanting to beat them. We're going to know a lot about the Lakers after the next 10 days.
Lakers and the Nuggets, the big Saturday night game. Monica, we go out to you. Stay out west, because the Nuggets, they did win a huge game, and Wemby didn't play, but they beat them 136-131. Luka was outstanding Jokic was outstanding last evening. 31 points, 20 rebounds, 12 assists. Then Jamal Murray added in 39, snapping that Spurs 5-game win streak. Monica, we go to you. You look at this. After the top dogs, OKC and San Antonio, you see what the Lakers and Denver did last night. Which team out of the West do you think will be the toughest out in the playoffs?
Well, we're going with the 2 top seeds, OKC and San Antonio. I still think it's Denver. And you saw why last night. Schrager, and look, Wemby didn't play last night. But as good as Jokic has been, the triple-doubles are like candy at this point. Jamal Murray continues to have a stellar year. He's got more 30-point games this season, a single season, than he did in the last couple of seasons combined. Like, he has been a monster. I thought in the fourth quarter last night, he and Cam Johnson really came up big, hitting some key baskets, because these guys were trailing in this game. They got down as many as 18 over the course of this one, but they just stayed with it, chopped wood, carry water, and found a way to ultimately have more points on the board when this game ended. So Denver is it's those 3 teams for me, in fact.
And Murray hit some clutch free throws the other night, which was good to see. Joe, what is the best bet as things currently stand in the West in this wide-open conference?
McNutt makes a great point on Denver. You have one of the best players in the game. You've got plenty of experience. Defense still worries me. OKC's price to where you probably aren't going to want to lay that right now. It's the Spurs at plus 425 to win the conference. I mean, since February 1st, nobody in the NBA has been better than San Antonio. They're 16-2 straight up. They're 12-5-1 against the spread. They're number 1 in offensive efficiency. They're number 2 in defensive efficiency. They're 3-1 against OKC this year, going into their gym and beating them. There's a lot to like. At that price, that would be the team I'd be looking at right now.
Windy, we've been talking about it all season. San Antonio does not have the playoff experience. As inexperienced as they are they equipped to really go and dethrone OKC?
I think they might be. I would still pick Oklahoma City in that series, but the thing that Victor Wembanyama gives is it gives the ability to have an antidote to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai prefers to operate in that mid-range. That's what he leans on in those end-of-game situations. And when you have a player like Victor Wembanyama, you have such a weapon defensively that you can defend not only the mid-range but the rim at the same time. He allows your defense to almost have 5.5 players. So I have immense respect for Denver. Jokic with a jaw-dropping performance last night. Jamal Murray had one of his best games. But if Wemby had played in that game, I don't necessarily think it goes Denver's way. So I think it's Oklahoma City's biggest rival is San Antonio probably at this point.
So much good NBA basketball this weekend. We'll definitely be talking about this on Monday, but we go to the college court and the college hardwood for the ACC tournament yesterday. Duke versus Florida State, number 1 seed Duke. And early on, Duke was struggling. They're down 6. And look at this here. You get this play here from your big guy, Boobin, 3, good. Then Duke, the steal down the court, down 1. Now you're up 1. Duke takes the 62-61 lead. Then Duke up 1, puts it in. There's our guy Carlos Boozer enjoying it. Florida State had their chances though. Here, jumper, good, cuts it to 1. Duke on the other end, got the shot, block. Here comes FSU for what would be an awesome moment for Seminoles fans. We look, McCray takes a shot and just misses it. Duke survives and advances, but it was not easy taking on Florida State. Put that on the wall. Seth Greenberg now joins us for more college hoops breakdown. Coach, how big of a concern is the loss of Caleb Foster for Duke going forward, who obviously has the injury?
It's a huge concern. You're talking about losing a guy with that type of experience. They only have 1 point guard on their roster now, and that's Caden Boozer. It impacts them defensively, impacts their experience, their physicality, their rotations. Their backup point guard right now is Cam Boozer. He's playing the role of Scottie Pippen in terms of initiating offense and then getting into the flow. So it's an absolutely huge loss. Caleb Foster, an experienced player, an elite defender, and physical. Now look, Cam Boozer was absolutely dominating during the stretch in terms of making plays. And this is good ball movement. Isaiah Evans had 32 in this game. This is a very good basketball team, but they're flawed. They don't have Patrick Gamba right now, their front court sub. They don't have Caleb Foster, their starting point guard. They don't have a backup point guard. Did they regain their poise and find a way to win this game against the Florida State team that won 9 of their last 11? Yes, they did. But not having an experienced point guard impacts them defensively at the point of attack. When Sarr and Foster were in there together, they were a movable object. Without him, Caden's good, but he doesn't have that experience.
Really interesting as we'll get our brackets on Sunday. Look, down where you are, the Big 12 tournament, Darren Peterson played a career-high 37 minutes. Kansas survives over TCU, but Peterson only shot 5 for 17 from the field. Seth, what do the Jayhawks need to do to fix things up before they face Houston tonight?
I think they're making progress. They have to learn to play with Darren Peterson, not to and through him. And then Darren Peterson, as he's immersing himself into what they're doing in terms of playing in the flow of offense, he's still got to be selectively aggressive. Darren Peterson can make plays very few guys can make. At the end of the game, Bill Self did a great job of putting the ball in his hands. You see him right there getting to the middle of the floor and making that nice finish. Darren Peterson needs to be aggressive. But as a team, the rest of the players on this Kansas team need to stay aggressive as well. Melvin Council needs to be aggressive. Trey White needs to be aggressive. But Darren Peterson, in the flow of the offense, he's got to be aggressive. And at the end of the games, he's got to take over games. But he's got to get all his offense in the flow of the offense, not playing to him, but playing or through him, but playing with his teammates.
That'll be an awesome game tonight. Yesterday, we saw number 20, Miami of Ohio, lose their first game of the season. They lost to UMass. Not only did it spoil their perfect record, but now the only way they can get in the NCAA tournament is as being an at-large team, something a MAC school has not done since 1999. We know 68 make it. Seth, should Miami of Ohio be one of them?
Now, Miami of Ohio's resume says they shouldn't be one of them, but perfection says they should be one of them. All right, they're 31-0 going into the MAC tournament. If you look at the resume, I mean, look, the resume says the strength of schedule is a joke. They're 31-1. All that stuff obviously says, no, wait a second. 296, how can they be it? But perfection. Think about perfection. 31-0, 3 teams. Kentucky, Wichita State, Miami of Ohio. And think about the mid-majors. Now, you talk about way back in the day, St. Joe's was undefeated. They lost in after getting a bye in the first round of their tournament in the A-10, and they were number 1 seed. I think Miami of Ohio gets in. They play in the play-in game. If they went and won their tournament, they wouldn't be in the play-in game, but you have to put them in. It is hard to be undefeated during the course of your season. It's really hard in the MAC where there's such a level playing field. So I think they're in, but I think they're in the play-in game.
Jameer Nelson, St. Joe's? I think so. I like that team. That was a good team.
Yes, Jameer Nelson,
There we
Delonte
go.
West. That was a pretty good